All right, so you had concerns about how to make a bar graph for your discussion example. So the instructions of how to do this is on page 81 of the textbook. It says bar graphs from summarized data. You'll want to follow those instructions for the section under StatCrunch, of course. And so you'll notice that the instructions may be slightly different. For example, on step 2 it says select graphics, and there's nothing that says graphics, but it does say graph. So there's been updates to StatCrunch since the textbook came out. So little changes like that might come up, and you'll notice that there might be slight differences, but it should make you should be able to follow those steps and get it figured out. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to do this. So you'll want to set up your frequency distribution or relative frequency distribution, since you have percentages. And so let's just label your variables. So this is the gym sessions, I guess. That'll work. And then you can do 60 minutes, 90 minute, and 120. And then, so you'll notice that it'll make sense why I'm choosing this based on what my reply to your discussion post. You had some issues, and so yeah, well, actually, no. Just make sure you use the 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, and not the amount of calories you burn. I'm not sure if you were planning to use that. I can't remember what you did in your post. But you want to make sure that these are your outcomes, because you want to be able to order them from smallest to largest, your results. So here's the relative frequencies. And you had 0.8, 0.15, and 0.05. I'm going to put it in decimal form. All right, so after you do that, so that's pretty much step 1. Enter the summarized data into the tables, the spreadsheet. So that's this right here. Name the variable and frequencies. I did that, or relative frequencies. In this case, we have relative frequencies. Okay, we're done with step 1. So we're going to go to graph, and then we'll notice we'll have a bar plot on the top here. That's what they mentioned. Then highlight with summary. Yeah, you want with summary because we have a summary data, not the raw data. So we have the summary and a relative frequency distribution. So I can't quite fit all this in here, but there's some menu information here, but all the important stuff is on the top here. So categories in. So your categories is your gym sessions, the 60, 90, and 120 minutes. So those are your different categories. And the count is your relative frequency. So that's, I guess I'm done with step 3, it looks like. On to step 4, it says choose a type of bar graph, frequency or relative frequency, and click next. So we want relative frequency. And order value ascending. Ascending counting worksheet. Yeah, so I think, wait, actually, I thought that might change something. I think it's just relative frequency that we want. Click next. Enter labels for the X and Y axis. So that's actually down here. You don't have to do this. I'm not too concerned, but you can with this information. But there's these optionals for X-axis label, Y-axis label. So X-axis label, I would say this would be your gym sessions. And optional Y-axis, we would have, I'm on the right below X-axis, I have Y-axis label, Y-axis label would be your relative frequency, or just put rel freq, F-R-E-Q, and then title, you know, whatever makes sense for this. This would be, what is this? Gym session time. Gym session time. Okay, and we can compute, and there we go. We have our distribution. Actually, I did notice that I want this in 60, 90, 120 in that order. So I might need to, this is the part I wasn't really sure about. Value ascending, order by worksheet. I would think it maybe worksheet. Yeah, there you go. If you choose your worksheet, it'll just go in the order of your worksheet. So there you go, 60, 90, 120, and that's the order we want. So hopefully that makes sense. A little hiccup right there, but we hopefully that made sense of how I changed it. If you choose worksheet, and then it'll just go in the order, like it'll do row 1, row 2, row 3 from left to right, and that's what we want. So anyways, let me know if you have any concerns. Hopefully this helps.